take your shoulder blades up to your ears and draw them down your back. And try to think about the muscles around your shoulder blades. So think of this more as a sort of shoulder to go up and a back exercise to go down. But we're not trying to move the spine again. We're not trying to move the arms. We're trying to just move the shoulder blades. Let's move on. Let's see if we can move to the rib cage. So this is just about getting used to how your body feels and trying to get your awareness back in your body so that you can think about what you're feeling. So you can connect, yeah, rather than, well, it's more feeling than thinking really, but you've got that connection back again. That's what we're looking for. So weight in your hips. Let's see if we can slide your rib cage from side to side. So we're trying not to lead with the shoulder, we're trying to push the rib cage from one side to the other. If it helps, maybe reach with your arm, but we're not trying to do it up here, we're trying to move the rib cage. So for some people the arm bit actually confuses it. For some people it helps. So if you're not doing it with your head and shoulders, see if you can get your rib cage to move. Can you keep the weight in both of your hips? Can you keep your legs relaxed? And if you can't do these things, don't just think, oh, I can't do it. Instead, actually actively try and relax your legs. Slow down a bit. Do less. Just see them, just shift that weight the tiniest little bit over from one side to the other. From the side, think about, so we're going off to the side. Now see if we can come forward, so you can see it a bit more now, and push back. Forward and back. Try to do this without exaggerating the head bit. We want to work a little bit lower down. I'm not saying these are easy, but take some time out. Take some time for yourself. And just see if you can work with your spine. So they're little movements, but they're quite precise. And then you could maybe try and put them together. And go the other way. It doesn't matter if they're not perfect. That's not what we're aiming for. We're just aiming to get more connection, mind and body, and free up maybe some areas that have got a little bit stuck and a little bit harder to move. So on your back, nice and relaxed, we're just going to let the knees drop together, let the feet go nice and wide. So your back hopefully is relaxed. We're not pushing the lower back into the floor, there's a little gap there. The rib cage are relaxed on the floor, so is the hips, so is the shoulder blades. We're just going to take the hands nice and loose and place them here. So think about you're relaxing. So when you're here, don't be all rigid. Let the shoulders and arms relax again. Let your shoulder blades sink back into the floor. Tuck your chin in. Now start to feel the weight in your hips, the back of your hips. Just let that go. Feel your back relax. So it's very important that everything below the rib cage here is sinking into the floor. It's just letting go of it. We're not pushing, we're not trying to push the lower back into the floor. We're just allowing it to relax and become heavy. And it's going to stay like that. That's the plan. And we're just going to try now and bring our awareness to our shoulder blades. And we're going to try very gently to roll from one shoulder blade to the other without arching the lower back. So we're trying not to move here. We're trying to completely completely relax, and then a little movement onto one shoulder blade, across onto the other shoulder blade, and see if you can really let the weight go onto that one shoulder blade. Again, we're relaxing everything else. You might find that your legs are moving. So if that's the case, or you feel you're arching your back, do less movement. Go right back to just going from the ridge, inside ridge of one shoulder blade to the inside ridge of the other shoulder blade. And then you can see we're moving the whole upper body here. Maybe try and keep your head looking up at the ceiling. Relax your shoulders again because the tension will creep back. Now see if you can move just this middle section, so not the hips and not the head. It's often a little bit harder, that one, so take your time. So we're going to take the feet and knees together and the arms wide. We're going to really relax the upper body this time. I'm going to try not to be too active through the legs. So when people do these sort of hip roll exercises, a lot of the time they're trying to get their knees on the floor. I want you to forget about your knees. Let's keep your feet and your legs all stuck together. And think about your SI joints. And we're going to roll from one to the other. So there's those little dips or knobbly bits at the back of the hips. So we're going to roll onto one, onto the other. And you can see I've got my feet and knees together. Everything's lined up, knees lined up, feet lined up. And I'm rolling from heel to heel. But I'm actually focusing more up here. Onto one hip. Onto the SI joint, onto the other side, and then once I got used to that, and I'm really careful I'm not doing anything with my upper body, and it might be that you need to keep relaxing the parts of your body that you aren't moving, and that's fine, just keep doing that. And then just see if you can go a little bit further, and what we're trying to feel here is the movement creeping up your spine. We're not trying to do anything with the knees. It really is more of a spinal movement. And then we can see the legs moving. But this is what's happening here. You're twisting into the lower back and it's creeping up through the spine. And if that rotation goes all the way up to between the shoulder blades, your knees may well come closer to the floor, but not at the expense of you arching your back. So we want good rotation. And as always, keep breathing. Slow, easy breath. So relaxing on the floor, we've got the legs bent. Let the shoulder blades sink into the floor, tuck your chin in. So you've got the back of the hips on the floor, we've got a little gap under the lower back. And again, find your breathing rhythm. Now, as you breathe out, we're going to try and work the pelvic floor. So we're going to draw up between our legs. So this is a feeling of like drawing in and up into your body. So you draw together and into your body. So obviously we can't check this, see this. It's quite hard sometimes for people to think about what we're trying to do. So it's almost as though you're imagining you're trying to not go to the toilet. It's that sensation of drawing into your body. Not 100%, nice and gentle. Remembering to keep everything else still. These are deep muscles, so they can't move anything we can see. So take a breath in. When you're ready to breathe out, imagine you're drawing up with those muscles between your legs. You're relaxing the legs and you're trying to draw up into the body, behind the belly button if you can. So you're drawing up through the body. And then breathe in and allow that to fade away. As you breathe out, gently, subtly draw up into the body of the pelvic floor. Make sure everything else is relaxed. When you feel you need to breathe in again, release it, just let it fade away. As your breath comes into the body, allow your pelvic floor to fully relax. As you breathe out, lift up through the core. Make sure you fully relax between each one. So it's a gentle tension, but it's not with any muscles that we can see. Up through the core, literally like a core through an apple. Now we're going to pull with the lower abdominal muscles. I'm going to try and pull those muscles so that your hips come closer to your ribcage, your lower back pushes into the floor. This is called a pelvic tilt. So we're doing a nice movement of the hips. We're not trying to push with our feet or use our bottom. We're just doing lower abdominals on their own to start with. So the pelvic tilt, just using lower abdominals as you breathe out. Pull. See if you can pull. You keep pulling till the lower back touches the floor, the legs are relaxed, the bottom is relaxed. Release off, breathe in. As you breathe out, pull. So you're pulling here. Breathe in and relax. As you breathe out, pull hips to ribs. Breathe in to relax. So we're going to try and add to this the pelvic floor. So as you breathe in, you're just relaxing. Now as you breathe out, you start to lift up through the pelvic floor. And if you're pulling up, you should feel a little bit of a sensation of pull here. So we're going to use that, we're going to stay with that. Keep lifting the pelvic floor, but now add that pull of the hips. And then release both, let the hips rock back and relax your pelvic floor. And take a breath in as you do that, whenever you feel ready. Now here, if you're getting confused with the breathing, just have a little rest in between each one. Just have a little, take a minute, just breathe. And when you feel ready again to breathe out and lift your pelvic floor, that's when you do it, and you're pulling your hips towards your ribs. Your legs and bottom are relaxed. When you feel that you want to breathe in, you're releasing the movement, the position, and your pelvic floor. And maybe take another breath here, just relax for a couple of breaths. Stay focused in your body, pelvic floor's relaxed, you just breathe in. And as you breathe out, lift the pelvic floor, pull the hips. Release both to breathe back in.